Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We are live in Studio B, and joining us now to preview senior night for BYU Gymnastics are two of these outstanding BYU gymnasts, the gym cats, if you will. Heidi Schooley-Myers and Eliza Millar-Crossman with us here. Welcome. Great to have you on the show today.
Thanks. We're so excited to be here.
Okay. Typically, because it's senior night, we just need to start with the whole emotions of the event. Okay, so how are you feeling about this being the finale? Eliza, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's super bittersweet. Like even in practice, every time it comes up, we all get a little teary-eyed. My coach Natalie is like, "Oh no, like this is kind of it." But the season's not over yet. But obviously, some of the senior emotions come out early when we're in the Marriott Center for the last time. So
for sure.
Heidi, how's it for you?
Yeah, definitely the same. Like bittersweet. Like competing at the Marriott Center is the greatest thing. It's my favorite thing ever. But luckily, like we still have a few meets, and we have a few meets that are close because Big 12 Championships is at the Maverick Center.
Right up the road in Salt Lake City.
Regionals could also be here too. So we're super excited for
this question will be for both of you guys again, but when you look back on your BYU careers, what will you remember?
Oh man, there's so much to be grateful for.
It's a loaded question.
Yes, very. I feel like we've both been super lucky with our health, right? Because, you know, athletics is really hard on your body. But I've been super lucky that all 4 years that I've been here, I've been able to compete, which has been so amazing. Like starting from my freshman year, that first meet, all the way until my senior year, my body has held together.
Oh, man.
So, like, it's hard sometimes to remember each individual routine. But just that whole experience of being able to do each season start to finish and growing through each season, I think that's something that I will not take for granted.
What about you, Heidi?
I'm just going to remember, like, my team, having my team there for me every single meet, every single day. Like, you're not going to have that when you're done with gymnastics. I'm not going to have 30 girls with me cheering my name. Like, I don't know. That's something super special that, like, I've kind of taken for granted, but especially this season, I'm like, wow, like, I love these girls so much. So, yeah.
Eliza, you burst onto the scene as a freshman. In fact, we had you on BYU Sports Nation early on in your career as a beam specialist.
Yes.
You've become a floor specialist along with that. So how has your career and ability to hit in multiple events come to fruition here?
Yeah, I feel like it was just one step at a time there. I definitely got recruited as a beam specialist, like that. They thought that was going to be my thing. But I always knew I had some floor in me, and I love to perform. I think floor is so fun. Heidi over here, she can do it too.
She's the floor specialist. We'll get to that in a moment.
She's so good, right? But I feel like having both of beam and floor kind of balance each other out. Like they're both kind of leg events, but I feel like beam, I can kind of like breathe, smile, take deep breaths, and then floor, I just get to put all the energy out there. And so I feel like every year, thanks to my coaches, Brogan and Natalie, they've really helped me blossom into a beam and a floor specialist. So thanks to them.
So Heidi, what do you like most about floor?
Everything. I love, like, just being able to perform. I love tumbling. I've always loved floor in general, so.
Okay, you have an outstanding music selection, Heidi. Okay, and that whole selection process is fun. So how did you notify the people that don't know what music you chose and why you chose it?
So this year I chose like some kind of disco-y music. So what kind of inspired this? Brogan actually brought this up a few years ago. He was like, I think you should do like a disco-themed routine.
Your coach, Brogan Evanson?
Yes. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll think on that. I didn't do it last year, but I did it this year. And then one of my songs, I'm using Boogie Wonderland. And I actually used that song at my wedding. I did a dance with my dad. And so like.
To Boogie Wonderland?
Yes.
That's quite the first dance at your wedding.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We did like a little slow dance and then like did a little crazy dance. It was fun.
Love it.
But incorporated some of those moves into my floor routine this year. So, yeah.
And then your whole team's doing the entire routine with you on the side.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun.
Well, we see it every day, so. You guys only get blessed once a week, but.
You can do them all of them.
Yes.
Everyone.
By memory.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Okay, and then Eliza, your music selection, how did you settle on what you chose?
Yeah, so I kind of chose some like trumpet, saxophone, brass, like kind of more of an instrument inspiration. Like I found a playlist on Spotify that was just like songs with trumpets that slap or whatever, going through those. Yeah, literally. So thanks to Spotify. But I was going through those and I was like, whoa, like I'm kind of bumping right now. So that's kind of how that music choice came to be. But my most favorite song that I use is Careless Whisper. And every time I get to that part in my routine,
There we go.
I get there.
There we go.
And I kind of slow dance. My mom did ballroom when she was younger, so she taught me how to do the steps, and I slow dance and I go through the motions. And every time that song comes on in the mirror, I hear everyone go, oh, because it's kind of a joke, right? But like they get it, right? They're with me. And so I feel like the first time I competed that in the Marriott, that was just like, I literally felt like, I was like, I'm a star, I'm a performer. Like, this is so fun. So
you don't need to sell us on Careless Whisper. What you don't know is this show has a history
with that
song specifically.
With that song.
So yes, so we are big fans.
Let's go.
Okay, I want to stay with the music thing because I'm fascinated by
Yes.
this. So talk to me about why the music, because obviously we know how important the routine is, but how important is it to match what comes first? Does the music come first and then the routine is based off of the music, or vice versa?
Usually you'll pick your music out first and you'll work with Brogan, and like we have a sound guy who'll put our music together, and then we'll be like, okay, we'll work on our choreography. This is how we want it to look, how we want it to feel when we're performing. So yeah,
Really fun. Boogie Wonderland, Careless Whisper.
it's a great pair.
Yes.
Those two go together, right?
obviously.
Trumpets and saxophones that slap. Eliza, Millar-Crossman, and Heidi Schooley-Myers are on BYU Sports Nation. A lot of people aren't aware, but in the world of college gymnastics, scoring has become much more intricate, and it's just become more harsh this season. You look at the numbers last year compared to what they are this year, it is tougher to score. They're not just giving away 995s like they used to. You have to earn it. So you're still searching for that 196. How have you two and the team adjusted to the tougher scoring in gymnastics?
Yeah, it's definitely hard because I feel like in gymnastics it's so easy to pick yourself apart, right? Like we don't get, half the time it kind of feels like you're not going up for the 10, you're coming down from a 10, right? But I feel like that always comes back to going back to practice and just finding the positives. My coach Guard loves to say, like, what did you do well? And so I feel like every time we can focus on what we did well and then just find that one thing that we want to adjust for the next time, that one thing will give us that 10th back. And like you saw, we were really only like a 10th away from that 196. And so you could get that from any routine. And I can only control myself, so hopefully you or Heidi can give the team that extra 10th tonight. But if everyone brings that extra 10th or that half, I think we're totally going to do it.
Heidi, how do you feel about the adjusted scoring and judging?
It's interesting to watch because it's like, it kind of depends what school you're from. It's like, it's still just a changing thing, but I'm hoping that these judges can kind of settle down into like a, I don't know, equilibrium almost, like we can figure out
Okay.
what we need to do, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm going to put out a grading scale so those that are not familiar with gymnastics can watch tonight's meet and kind of understand when I say you're shooting for a 196, what that would be in the grade scale. And I have, based on the scores this year, I'd say like if you get a 197 plus, that's firmly an A. Anything above that's like an A plus, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
196.5 maybe like A minus area, and then like a 196 is a really, really tough, good B plus, yes?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
In a difficult institution. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah, that's
I
totally
definitely
fair.
would say
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so you've been floating around like the B area for much of the year. Okay, your average score, your national qualifying score. What would it mean to hit 196 on senior night at the Marriott Center?
Oh, that would be everything. I think that would be so fun because that goal has come up a couple times and we've come short of it a little bit, but that hasn't stopped us from just going back to practice and really trying to push there. And if you see kind of in the national rankings, a 196 is quite a few places higher, right? Like,
Yes.
Like all those teams are really close together.
It's a top 25 score.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And for the record, BYU number 31 right now. To your credit, you've been building. Let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma to go out and perform well tonight.
Let's go.
Good luck. 196. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks,
So
guys.
excited.
Thank you.
All right, Boogie Wonderland, Jason. You ready?
You don't need to ask if I'm ready.